Well, let's be pretty real. There aren't very many real-life fairy tales, and as fans of various media, we don't often get the happy ending we want. But one fairy tale that absolutely came true was the rise and fall and then rise again of our favorite animated show, Young Justice. Let's talk about the story of how Young Justice got canceled, was brought back from the dead, and now has become quite the mainstay staple of many fans. Now, before we dive in, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and ring the bell for all the updates. Also, we have this massive giveaway. We're going to give away a PlayStation 5 at 25,000 subscribers. All you have to do to get in on our giveaway is be a subscriber and leave us a comment. Also, while you're at it, check out the Buy Me a Coffee link down below. It's a pretty awesome place to support this channel with a tiny bit of pocket change, all while creating no new obligations for yourself. We really appreciate it. Well, our tale takes us back in time, way back to November the 26th, 2010. That was the day that Young Justice first aired on Cartoon Network. And from the very first episode, fans of the show knew they were onto something special. The first season of the show ran 26 episodes and was actually quickly followed up with the second season, Young Justice Invasion, which dropped on April 28, 2012. The show was met by fans and critics with wide acclaim. We all wanted more, and we all just downright loved this show. Unfortunately for fans, the happy days didn't last long, because in January of 2013, Cartoon Network announced their big lineup for 2013 and 2014. And guess who wasn't there? That's right, Young Justice was gone. Along with Green Lantern the Animated Series, both shows were actually replaced by Teen Titans Go and Beware the Batman. Quite honestly, there was a significant fan response, even to the point of offering up crowdfunding. But Warner Brothers made it pretty clear they were not interested in third-party crowdfunding. For many fans, this seemed like the end. But quite honestly, it was just the beginning of the tale. Now, there were many rumored reasons why the show was canceled. As a matter of fact, in December of 2013, Kevin Smith had Paul Dini on his podcast, Fat Man on Batman, and they talked a little bit about the cancellation of Dini's project, Tower Prep, along with Young Justice and Green Lantern the Animated Series. Now, what Dini claimed was that the executives did not want girls watching these programs because, quote, they don't buy toys. Now, to many fans, this seemed like nonsense from day one. And quite honestly, Greg Weisman himself had a very vehement response that was not the reason for the show's cancellation. Fans went on to speculate for many years on what happened to the show, and it took quite a while before we finally found out what happened. In January of 2016, Greg Weisman actually revealed the real reason why the show was canceled on the Hip Hop Nerd podcast. He made it pretty clear. The show's funding was actually based on the toy deal with Mattel. The simple fact was the toys were not selling, so Mattel canceled the toy line, and this cancellation pulled the funding for the show. With no sources of income large enough to replace something like the Mattel sponsorship, Cartoon Network chose not to pick up the show for a third season. Now, if you were on various forms of social media during this time, you know there was a ton of fan effort to get Young Justice renewed. Nearly every day there was a deluge of tweets, and fans, along with Weisman and Vietti, never actually gave up hope. And this is where the fairy tale takes a nice turn. In February of 2016, in response to the first two seasons making their way to Netflix, Greg Weisman posted a tweet advising his fans that if they wanted a third season, they needed to keep watching Young Justice or buy the Blu-ray releases. About a month later, rumors began to circulate that Netflix was considering bringing it back for a third season based on these numbers. But actual answers from those involved in the show remained scarce. By June of 2016, Weisman himself actually commented that the possibility of the show returning for a third season was very real, but that fans needed to keep Young Justice trending on Netflix to keep the possibility of the show alive. Now, there were several debunked reports along the way of the show getting renewed with Netflix. But finally, on November the 7th, 2016, the third season was officially announced. President of Warner Brothers Animation and Digital Series, Sam Register, actually made a statement and said, "The affection that the fans have for Young Justice and their rallying cry for more episodes has always resonated with us. We are excited to bring the show back for the loyal fanbase and to provide an opportunity for new viewers to discover this excellent series. Over the course of the next year or so, several cast members, including Kyrie Payton and character designer Phil Barassa, all confirmed that they had started working on a 4th season. When we finally reached April 25th, 2017, Warner Brothers then officially announced that the 3rd season would be titled Young Justice Outsiders and would be debuting on their new DC-based digital streaming service, the DC Universe. Then finally, on January 4th, 2019, the 3rd season of the series dropped on DC Universe, with the second half of the series dropping July 12th, 2019. Now, fans were in celebration mode, and quite honestly, most of us enjoyed Season 3. But the DC Universe was on limited life support, and the network itself did finally close up as a streaming service, leaving Young Justice fans wondering if we were back in limbo again. Fortunately for all of us, on July the 20th, 2019, at San Diego Comic-Con, the series creators, Brenda Vietti and Greg Weisman, announced that the show had been renewed for a 4th season. By the 2020 DC fandom, we had all the rest of the details. The series was going to be entitled Young Justice Phantoms, and more importantly, it was being brought into the fold over on Warner Brothers' new streaming service, HBOMax. At this point, us fans are all just waiting for Season 4 of Young Justice to drop, and obviously HBO is not going anywhere, so it really isn't too soon to start speculating about a Season 5, or as Greg Weisman has said, way beyond that. The showrunner has stated that he would love to create as many seasons as HBO would have, so keep your fingers crossed. We hope you've enjoyed the little tale of the rise and fall of Young Justice, and hopefully you learned a little bit about the history of the show. It was truly a combined effort of fan love and the creative support, especially Greg Weisman himself, that kept the magic alive and forced those in charge to see the value in what quite honestly might be one of the best superhero animated shows ever. Tell us what you think in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure you press like, click subscribe, and if you don't ring that bell, you're not getting any updates. Peace.